even if you were a good Dust 2 team, it's never that easy to get just clean wins on this map.
Well, indeed. And while Unicorn, there's odds looking a lot better now for LDLC, looking a lot tastier. We head into map number 3. And while they find themselves probably with a good chance again. Now, they did pull off the reverse sweep yesterday after a very one-sided affair on train, and then they came back and won the last 2 maps. So we know that LDLC can certainly pull this off, and while it's Endpoint trying to put a stop to them.
And it's a fast play out long initially for Endpoint. Trying to get control early on. They forced Logan back to play at a distance with this USP, try to make use of the better range. He is alone by and large at this A site, but there is a fast flank ensuing for LDLC. It's all about delaying and preventing them into the site for as long as possible because that flank is an inevitability. Good.
Shutting him down, and now they'll be looking for a little bit more. It's Mighty Max, Robin, and Crucial looking for their way back into the round here. The T side, they've got the site Yumi, and it's all onto the retake. They have got the kit in the back of Lambert, a couple of pieces of utility in place to one flashbang to note, and while Sixer had an opportunity, but he's not taking the kills just yet. The damage being employed, but it's not enough yet. Sixer under pressure. Haji finding the headshot at Sixer. Oh my god, that is awkward. Eventually, they will get all the kills, and LDLC will take the pistol.
Yeah, had a firm idea exactly what they wanted to do in that pistol round. Even if they allowed them out long, they were prepared for the fights. And although it's not the cleanest, it's certainly not the prettiest in terms of pistol performances, they survived with 4 and they get the job done. Good start for LDLC, looking to reverse sweep the series. And there's still a long way before we get there. One smoke brought up by Mighty Max. Of course, with the bomb going down, they will opt to save, get that 3rd round gun round. I'm curious where this smoke lands. Could be to allow them up short, just for some initial presence, but Sixer's just shooting off pot shots in towards middle, tagging players left and right with the scout. May actually get a kill here with the nade. Oh, never mind. He's just setting Haji up for a nice little 3K over at short. Gringo's had a fun time.
Yeah, Gringo, he didn't have a first map. He let me down on that first map.
He's not even seen anybody this map so far.
Yeah. But here on the second map, he certainly showed up. Disgusting pistol play. And now, well, he hasn't seen anybody, but I'm sure he'll continue his good form. I think this is the kind of map where he can do that kind of damage. Don't know why, but Siri on my iPad across the room thought I said Siri. But there we go.
Well, now you said it twice.
Yeah, and it didn't pick up those times. It didn't pick up those times. Clearly it's broken.
Well, technological miscommunications aside, hopefully we don't see too many of those from our players. And while barreling through middle, they're trying desperately to prevent the push from Endpoint, but they just concede so many lives and resources to the commitment through spawn. And Gringo sits in a smoke, hoping that he goes uncleared, gets the first, but Max trades him out. Proper rifles in Endpoint's hands in that round, and a first on field. Could be a scenario that we saw on Vertigo, that once they get these rifles, they start to become an unstoppable force, but we'll have to wait and see, because LDLC don't exactly have money to buy up in retaliation.
Well, Crucial looking down towards middle, looking for the early pick on the AWP. It's just the pistols in play here for LDLC as Logan's going to get aggressive, trying to take down Robin, but he will just be dispelled with. And, well, this should be a relatively easy pickup now. Bar any crazy plays. Thomas is all the way back near spawn, and he will be able to take down Gringo. Lambert in behind him. Thomas is definitely ready for this possibility.
Lambert's waiting for his teammates to come into the tunnel so they can all peek him at once. Give Thomas the least amount of possibility of winning all the fights respectively. He's taking up a new angle, one in which most of his body won't be exposed. Meanwhile, his teammates can get this bomb planted over at A. So they lock out a large portion of the rotations for LDLC. They know they're all stacked towards this B side of the map. just a stalemate. Who makes the first move?
Well, there's no real need for the T side to go into them. There's nothing of value over here on LDLC. It's in their best interest, in fact, just to sit back and hope that Endpoint come into their crosshairs. Because maybe with Stack, you can collect one of these AKs, you can bring it into the next round. I think Endpoint realized that. There's no real need to do anything here. Just save those over into the next round. It's going to be 2-2. Endpoint evening up the scoreline now at this point. And when we take a look at what's coming up in the next round, that's when the money's finally back in the bank. And wow, that is brilliant. Lambert is just so patient that entire round. Doesn't go beyond the wall, doesn't go around the corner. And Thomas, well, last few seconds decides to take his victim. And that's a very happy Thomas, I'm sure.
Yeah, practically gets the return on investment on his grenade instantly. So he just sort of throws a little Hail Mary. You know, you hate to see patience not pay off.
Yeah.
Didn't even jiggle peek it. Didn't even tempt it.
Just kind of went for it. You know, just throw the nade on in, hope for the best. Pays off. Now, you see they push out towards A long. It's going to be plenty of Endpoint players. Gringo able to take down Robin. A second coming in as well. This time on towards Thomas. Now it's a 5v3. A two-man advantage in play for LDLC. And they're going to start pulling players off of A long. Now the bomb will go back in towards middle. Mighty Max has already pushed through. He needs to smoke down in towards CT. He's going to throw a deeper smoke and push forward. He's trying to get the mind games going so he can peek up towards the window. Now pushes close towards the CT corner. Crucial covering him off on his wide angle peek. But Haji's close. Haji's in the tight corner. And there it is from Haji. An easy kill on the end for him. Crucial able to trade back, but not onto Haji. Instead, it's Gringo who falls victim to the AWP. And now Surreal trying to make a play from short. It's going to work for him. He gets one. Crucial missing a shot in towards middle. And now with a minute left on the clock, LDLC, that huge advantage they've had is starting to crumble, and Sixer awkwardly trying to take the fights, but Surreal's just going to commit to the plant. The ball's planted for short as well. Crucial has a real chance to win this.
Oh, no, it's not. It's actually behind the boxes.
Behind the boxes. That's a bigger issue, but Surreal, he's still in a good spot here, Yumi. He's got one, but yeah, the cleanup's already through. That just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, just an individual fight, one towards short. Crucial not quite able to stay alive for long enough. He tried to use the one-way smoke. There's a small gap underneath that came around pre-firing. And well, LDLC, like you said, easy cleanup towards the A side of things. A bit confusing as to why they've not planted for short when that seemed to be the play for Crucial. Maybe just a small miscommunication as to how they wanted to play the round out. Could have committed to the site instead, but
I think he just needed to get away from that long play because Sixer was shutting him down, right? So he could have planted for short, but because he already committed beyond the other end of the box, he had no real other option but to plant on that side. A little unfortunate, but certainly could have planted initially for short.
Ooh, good tag onto Lambert. Down to 30 already for LDLC. Just peeking across to see if the up was in play for Endpoint, to see if anybody was rushing down middle as well, but now has to live with the consequences of his actions. And again, another lurk-style play out through middle by Endpoint.
Well, Crucial. Looking up on towards A long. Sixers there this time. Oh, nice shot. Crucial shutting down Lambert. And now the flashbang is heading in towards the B-bomb site. Gringo blinders. They start to run over the top of him. Gringo looking for more. And while he only manages one, finally overrun by Robin. And now the site has been taken. Endpoint hold the advantage and probably the save call having to come in from LDLC.
Yeah, it's unfortunately a very common reaction. When you lose that B-bomb site so rapidly, there's little to no chance of you getting into the site. If you do, you're surviving with one player at a maximum. Even then, that's not really a net positive win. You set yourself up for poorer and poorer rounds as the game goes forward. So saving onto these rifles will be a good sign. It doesn't seem like Endpoint will hunt too heavily. They're still trying to establish their own economy. Good first impact by Crucial on the up in the round for an equalize affair. We're into a 3-3. And well, Crucial a part of the system, part of the machine. In getting that B bomb site opened up for the T side. With the somewhat limited buy of LDLC, you expect to see maybe Lambert or Gringo taking a few more risks, maybe trying to get Sixer into good position, and while they jump across, and while Robin's not even peeking it properly, Crucial is taking up a different position with his own AWP. Moved over towards Long instead, and Sixer just narrowly misses the timing, scoping out as Crucial baits the shoulder.
Well, man advantage for LDLC is held, untraded by Endpoint. Shall be sending 3 players out towards A long. One up in towards short here for Endpoint. Just over a minute left on the clock as they take their time. Be a little bit of utility being used up. A Molotov that burns the car, smokes down for spawn, flashes through as well. And while Sixer's up in towards short. Now this position should be good for a kill on towards Surreal, but he doesn't spot him on the jiggle peek to the Molotov, and now he's caught in position. He'll drop off and head in towards CT spawn where his teammates can assist him. And they're just not getting a whole lot done here, so they're going to be playing for retake. Luckily, Endpoint don't take any further casualties. They do still have the man deficit, but they certainly have the site. And there's a real chance for them to get this done. But look at this, a 5-man retake just ready to go in towards this A bomb site via short. Surreal is going to be the first pillar of support for the Endpoint post plant, and we'll see if he can make anything work from the spot. It's Mighty Max getting picked off with the HE grenade, and they've run right past Surreal. This is such a play inside of the smoke. This is sneaky beaky like Thomas on the double. Surreal, he's a magician just appearing out of thin air. He'll manage one, but Thomas having to bail him out, and that's all on to Haji. He has found 2 already and 2 more to collect. The round will not be going in favor of LDLC, and what a recovery that is from Endpoint.
Such a risky play to be taking if you're Surreal. Just sitting inside of the smoke, waiting for the right opportunity to strike, waiting for the players to cross as well, because had he gone too early, they were holding and looking at that smoke very intently, just in case. But after they got the initial frag on Max, the call to push was made, and Surreal knew that that was his moment to strike. Just the fact that he's there and shooting at them from behind is enough to even allowed Thomas to get those frags. Well, only that saved rifle from the previous round for the CT side to work with. Still setting up in a fairly standard 2-1-2.
Endpoint with 4 players heading out towards A long. They have the 1 player very passively positioned over towards B, and that's Surreal. He's always in these lurk positions. You mentioned it a little bit earlier over on Vertigo. Surreal will be that traditional lurker for this Endpoint roster, and he does such a great job of just being sneaky. The thorn in the LDLC side, as we seen last round, exhibited. Mainly Thomas showing up. Now Haji did manage to save an AK over from the last round, so at least that's something. But Endpoint still shouldn't have too many issues. This mid push though, Surreal, he's caught so many players peeking his way.
Yeah, that was a public execution. They all swung at the exact same time, not quite sure who to shoot at once. And that's another rifle that they can recover and bring into the following round. It's not even really about trying to win this one. They don't have the kits available, but they'll give a fair shake. They can, of course, buy into the follow-up. They go for the boost. Thomas not quite there to cover it. The trade from Haji. Suddenly they have a man advantage. This becomes very, very problematic for Endpoint. They're trapped on the sites and they don't have crossfire set up. They lose out in their duels. And it's a miracle round from LDLC that stems all the back of finding that lurking player so early and so easily for LDLC.
Well, LDLC, they needed a hero out of the AK. There's a reason that AK is called the hero AK, and it just shows up. Haji, huge place. He's currently 14-1.
Yeah.
What? That is some impressive statistics. I've always been a fan of Haji. I always kind of expected him to do better things, and it's a little unfortunate that he's got himself in here at the moment. Hopefully he can start to build his way out of this, because for me he's always been a nice guy.
He'd land on a
player.
Big French team at some point.
Exactly. And he stood in for Wendigo. Like, his English is good, so it's a real possibility for him to play in an international team as well. just a little strange that he's found himself here. I think we've seen him play in sort of those mixed teams that randomly appear, you know, with Scream, Doc, you know, those guys. They're the type of little random teams that pop up, and Hadji is always a good fit for them, just because he's so easy to work with. He's such a good player in that respect, and currently 14-1. He's 118 ADR as well. We'll see what they can do here, Endpoint. They're going to be gathering up for sure. Again, such an important part of the map to take control of, Yumi. Allows you access everywhere.
Yeah, LDLC don't have a initial response. They went for good long control early on, so they've got Logan in position. He can play for the retake as well. Sixer could rattle off a couple of shots, fall back as well, and allow his teammates to begin their rotations. And while he's made the call that there's a bit of an execute towards the safe site, still yet to see anybody, still yet to find any of these opening picks. Sixer trying to get them on the cross, but the missed opportunity. This bomb should be able to get planted for the Endpoint side, but it'll be a 5-on-5 retake. This time, a few more options available for LDLC, not all just approaching from short.
Well, LDLC 2 coming back in from long. Surreal is behind the Molotov. Hadji has just taken down Robin, increasing his statistics further. And we'll see if they can get a little bit more done. It's Gringo hitting the deck. Lambert coming in, dropping Mighty Max. And Hadji with another kill picked up on the nade. He is going to be trying to push into the open. This guy just can't die. Another kill on towards Surreal. And now Thomas stuck in behind. It's a cleanup as LDLC will go in with 5. Just enough time for the defuse surely here for Hadji. And no! There's just not. Only milliseconds in it and Hadji will fall. A really nice attempt there from LDLC. It looked like it was enough, but Thomas pulls it out of the bag from Gandalf, just coming around and not enough time for the defuse. Brilliant stuff from Endpoint. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's round number 10 underway. We've fixed the issues, and well, the issues continue from Mighty Max. Dispelled out of the server early on into round number 10, and it's going to be a 5v4 established early on for LDLC.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying to get themselves into a forward position on Cat, just based on where his bodies lie. Well, once again, they're just going to sort of wait in towards middle, keeping a couple of players through, see if they can find a pick in towards C2 spawn or window, respectively. It does seem like they're changing up their plans ever so slightly, moving in towards the upper tunnels instead and looking to end towards the B bomb. Sorry, maybe just bait out a few nades. Given the mass congregation, it does seem like it will be some form of a B play.
Well, Thomas able to pick up one, a second kill as well as Gringo hits the deck. And now it's going to be a 4v3. A man advantage in play here for the Endpoint side. And as LDLC are forced to save, it's again that B-bomb site. Just keeps falling for them. And as soon as you lose it, save call. You can't really get too much going on there. And I really hate the B-bomb site for that respect. It's quite boring when a team does take it very quickly. And there's so many ways you can just fix this, you know, turn it around like the 1.6 doors. That could open up a new avenue. There's just so many things you could do here with this. And unfortunately, it's just like this over and over again. It's just retake. It's just not possible. And also you can save inside of the site. So that's even more of a bigger issue because you can go behind the car and you can just save.
Yeah, I think one of the issues as well is that once you have the site, it's very common that the T's will peek you from the doors, and so even just getting back up to the B slope, you're likely to lose somebody or take a lot of damage in an early duel, and it's definitely more risk than reward. There's an awkward choke to approach, but Endpoint are beginning to get a little bit of distance. Now a 2-round differential. And in spite of them conceding the early frag in that previous round, they're able to salvage it towards B. Maybe they've identified that weakness. Still, they'll explore other avenues of the map. Fast play in towards long. Mighty Max already gets himself down, and while Crucial elsewhere on the map has picked off some presence at short.
Well, Hadji is going to be up on towards Catwalk. In towards the tunnels lies Surreal. The bomb coming over alongside the back of the others, and now they'll be pushing through in towards the tunnels. Quite a bit of control established already Now, Endpoint, you've had so much success. Little fake in towards A. They pulled the rotation completely, Yuumi. It's going to be an easy round here for Endpoint. They're going to take the B bomb site again, and LDLC, they're going to have to save. That's just brilliant. That's textbook. That's just throw a little bit of utility. And now Gringo, he's going to peek in, finds the bomb carrier, but the round surely's done now. Surely if Lambert doesn't get anything, it is over. And even at this point, it's probably not still looking great. Gonna move forward, trying to rattle the shots, and it's not going to happen for him. He's locked outside of the site.
Yeah, at least this time they've gotten a little bit more control. Lambert makes sure that they can't be pushed far in through B slope. But yeah, again, the call is a bitter pill to swallow. Mighty Max as well lurking towards top middle. Has found one more frag. Surreal's taken out Sixer, and while Lambert may try his hardest with the MP9, Mighty Max has him outgunned. No saves. And what is a potential compounding round for Endpoint? They look to double the scoreline.
Well, Endpoint, you know, this T side was looking back and forth, a little scrappy perhaps even towards the start of this, but they've salvaged control of this quite comfortably. Final map of the day as well. Endpoint looking to clear it up. It's been a pretty long start for Endpoint. You know, their first game of the day, Yuumi, you had the pleasure of casting, was a very long affair, right? And now Endpoint, they would love to just wrap things up, get the day over and done with, get back to rest, sort of talk over some of the possible issues and what went well and what went bad today, and wrap it up because so far on the T side is looking good. They're leading the way. They want to get a little bit more, and they could definitely end this half with a convincing lead, but not if it goes like this. They've lost Surreal.
Yeah, he meets the firing squad in middle, and although Haji gets his hands on the AK, takes a bullet to the back of the head in doing so, actually gets a kill above the smoke on Crucial. That's the bomb spotted and dropped as well. They redeploy the boost as well. Thomas, are you prepared for it? No, Haji gets another. The NOA boost. How has it seen that much success? Endpoint now trying to run their way into this site as fast as humanly possible, but there's two guns in the realm of LDLC, and Sixer's got his hands on an AWP.
Well, Robin, he'll be walking forward. Quite a few weapons he wants to get rid of here. He's going to walk around the corner looking for the spray. He's going to find Sixer. That's the first kill, the second as well, and was well recovered from Robin. It's all on the Logan now. 1v2 for him, and I don't think this will be happening. No kit. You've still got Mighty Max inside of the site as well to deal with. Although good damage in this round from LDLC. My god, it was so close. Could have feasibly happened for them. Well, Logan, he's going to tap the bomb, trying to pull them into the open, but Robin's in such a good position. Logan has no idea. What?
Oh.
What just happened there? Robin just goes for the jump and loses his head almost immediately. That is so quick from Logan. I want to see that from his perspective. That is disgusting.
He reacted so fast. I mean, that round in general, like you said, so much damage done, so close to making it a winnable scenario as well. To top it all off, I mean, you give Logan a kit there. He hits that shot. That's a potential round win as well. Some good signs. There's signs of life from LDLC. The players are more than capable of pulling those rounds off. Just getting caught out in certain instances and a good recovery from Endpoint. Their anti-ecos have not been the greatest throughout the series.
Yeah, that's something they definitely got to go back to the drawing board with. You can't really come close at all of them. They lose every single player there. Their money could be in a brilliant position moving into late stages of this half, but now in a potential situation where it could crumble and LDLC could climb their way back into things. LDLC desperately looking for 7. That's the best case scenario now for the French roster. Well, Endpoint looking to try and push further, get every round that they can here on this T side. Gonna start crossing, the double smoke up for long. It's gonna be Sixer dropping through. He's dropped into a CT spawn. It looks like they're gonna be playing retake again.
I'll have to see if Endpoint get caught out by the boost through CT spawn. Last time LDLC got a lot of success with it. Haji's been the main man to mount those positions as well. Well, still a slow approach. These B-site players have been slowly clearing out the tunnels, making sure there's no lurking pressure from the Endpoint squad. But Surreal may have just beaten the timing, almost catches them off guard. Haji is privy to it, prepared for the fight. Robin, good tap on towards short. Logan eliminated. Equal numbers still held by the T side, but they're losing on individual fights now. Thomas dealt with Lambert. The boost up onto the side is perfect for the CT side, and Crucial now has it all to do. The headshot and the spot out onto the bomb. They can't defuse it. He has a perfect sightline, and they have no smoke to play with. There's no time. And Endpoint claw away another round, but it's by the skin of their teeth.
Well, now Endpoint just looking for one more to reach double figures. LDLC keep getting enough money to actually purchase up. Obviously, carrying the weapons over certainly helps for them. Now we'll see if Endpoint can take a 10th round, or will LDLC fight back towards the end of this half. It's a slower approach from Endpoint. 3 players towards the tunnels early, 1 up towards Suicide, and tasked with holding long is Robin. Mighty Max hops up on top of the Xbox. A little bit of control being established now up in towards short for Endpoint. Gonna be taking the time as Logan walking forward. This is nice from LDLC. I like a little bit of a change in this. They're getting proactive. They're trying to get involved early in the round. Try and get a bit of info on some control, and that Molotov is going to force Endpoint back. They're not letting them play their game this time, and I like that. That's funneled Endpoint in towards middle.
Yeah, they've got Haji out long, Logan as well posted on short, so like you said, a lot of the options over at A cut off, so it funnels them towards this B site, and they're faster than Lambert, I think, is anticipating. Feeding past the smoke, Surreal gets the first and the second on the entry. That could well secure a double-digit scoreline for Endpoint. The fast double entry to B. After what was good containment of the A bomb site, the B defenders just caught completely unaware. Again, another call to save from LDLC. It's so many rounds that we've seen them hold on to these weapons. Well, they'll need to if they want a bye into the last round of the half. There's been a good bounce back.
Yeah,
LDLC seem to be in very good control early on into this match, and suddenly that's all. Although the rounds from Endpoint aren't pretty, they still keep getting them.
Yeah, it's this has been a good turnaround from Endpoint, yeah, for sure. They definitely had a potential scare at the start of this map, but they've recovered it well, and now double figures posted on the T side. No, not out of the woods just yet. I mean, taking a look at even 11-4, it's famously known as the scoreline that's a little misleading. You know, you definitely come back from this, so it's not like that all the work's done, but they've certainly put themselves in a good position to move forward now, with Endpoint certainly looking like the team that are going to take it over the line. They were originally favourites coming into this, which is kind of actually strange to see. You know, back in the day, you would never expect LDLC versus Endpoint to be a matchup where the UK boys are favourite, but it's nice to see. Good change.
Yeah, the times and the environment has certainly shifted in a pretty substantial way. It feels like the last long-standing sort of UK organization left. Do still have CEX, still have Vexed, but
there's no Four Kings.
They're up and downs.
Those organizations. Let's go with Haji with 1 kill on towards Crucial. Robin able to pick up 1. Sixer coming out of nowhere. The Deagle looking for snappy headshots, and that is filthy from Sixer. He'll go back for more. Oh, there we go. Sixer out of nowhere. 5 rounds picked up for LDLC at the half, and Sixer just lights them up in middle with his Deagle.
You begin to wonder why they even invest in rifles when they're this proficient with the pistols. They get so close to winning rounds. This time they actually get it over the line, but...
Look at Haji. That's just so dumb.
Yeah.
That's just unreal. Save this, man.
Even with Sixer getting some really nice shots in that round, that only brings him...
He was on 5 kills.
Within 13, yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, poor Haji, man. Someday. Well, decent half coming in from Endpoint. They get 10. 5.5, not bad from LDLC. Certainly a scoreline you can come back from. And we've seen them pull comebacks before. They will be looking for that comeback indeed. They need the pistol start here though, Bleh. Bleh? I've been casting with Bleh so often. And I looked at his name in Discord, Yumi. And I seen he was in the Discord, so that's the reason right there. You know when you're writing something and so you're in the conversation and someone says a word and then you start writing that word?
Yeah, just like, it's like, you need to buy milk from the store. It's like, yes.
Milk. Whoops. Yeah, that's what happened there. So we move into the second half. It's LDLC now on the T side. They haven't really been able to do a whole lot as the CT, so let's see if they've got anything up their sleeve here on the T side affair.
Yeah, we'll certainly have to see Jennifer Aniston. Oh, shoot, I've gone and done it. The round that could start it all off, Endpoint on their CT side. They've been looking good on the T side respectively. It has been a little bit of a trial by fire. A lot of really close rounds and some instances they shouldn't have been in, but LDLC are looking to turn that all around. A fast play up through short. Surreal to spot them out and fall back towards the site. Thomas now has a whole lot on his plate. Doesn't have anybody to really help him gun them down on the cross. First shot is good by Thomas. Just has to stay alive and allow for these rotations to come on through. But Thomas isn't done yet. Finding a second. Lambert's able to respond in kind. But Thomas has found 3 kills in rapid succession and, well, locks out this A bomb site for Endpoint. They get the pistol round. In a similar fashion to LDLC, they keep 4 alive, but this time they don't even let them get to the bomb site.
Well, 11-5. Endpoint, that's the start end of the second half they would definitely be looking for. Well, over here on LDLC, it's just the old Glocks in play. Should be an easy clean up here for Endpoint. Should be 12-5 for the board, then putting them 4 away from victory in the series. Oh, well, Robin just overrunning, dropping Hadjieff, one of his few deaths so far in the game. It's kind of strange to see him have such brilliant statistics and be losing 11-5.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of save calls as well.
Oh yeah, I
saw that from LDLC a ton on their CT side.
That's a nice cleanup though. 6 are managing 1 on the Glock, but not much more than that. Only player dropping is Thomas, so 12-5 indeed. Endpoint now 4 away, but LDLC finally purchasing up Yumi. They're gonna get their buy-in.
Yep, this is getting close to, as some would say, last chance saloon. You get this round, maybe you start to compound a bit more on your T side, but by the time you realistically afford up another buy, should you lose this round, you're looking at 14 rounds to Endpoint, and that can be a dangerous state of affairs. Sixer going for the initial duel out long, hoping to get a nice clean 1-tap, just try and find an early frag for LDLC to work off of. But long control held by the CT side.
Well, it's going to be a catwalk execute looking to come in from LDLC most likely here. 3 players positioned up. There goes the close smoke already. The nade comes through from Endpoint. And LDLC are looking to be quick with this round, but the utility is just bombarding them at the moment.
Yeah, and similar to what LDLC were doing towards the tail end of that half, Endpoint have secured long control. They had a bit of presence on short, and that's a crucial fight to be winning. Robin dealing with the lurking pressure from middle means that these B-site rotations are secure. If they allow for a bit more space and a bit more breathing room on the CT side of things, and it actually prompts the push for LDLC to collapse on this A site.
Well, utility coming in all across the board. It's going to be LDLC looking to move forward. It's Lambert shutting down Robin. And now 3v4. Bomb planted. And LDLC will hold the site. 4 players just stacked upon it. And Endpoint, well, they're going to be backing away. saving what they can into the next round. And finally, LDLC, they're going to get another round on the board, and it's a gun round. Finally, something with the real guns and not the pistols.
It's actually a bit of a curious save from Endpoint. Sure, they're a man down, but they still have control of long this entire time. They'd seen a number of players progress up catwalk. Feasibly, LDLC didn't have a whole lot of space to actually get this done, and Thomas sprays them down as they attempt to save their weapons. Before this bomb goes off, Thomas almost takes them all out. And that's a really costly round for LDLC. The money is, well, it's screwed.
That's horrible.
Not a good look.
That's
that is really not a good look.
Well, we've reached a very important round already in the second half, and this is do or die time for both teams. Money is in the red for both sides. You know, whoever wins this likely goes on to dominate the next few rounds. And well, if Endpoint win it, they're going to be heading very, very close to the winning start, and it's going to be Thomas getting the kill on towards Logan.
He was so blind emerging from the tunnel. They're trying to recover that AK as well. Six are forced to fall back. Allows Thomas to get his mitts on that weapon. Well, again, long control established for Endpoint. Just as you highlight, this is a swinging round for either side. To lose a player so quickly and so easily like that as well. A fully flash play and, well, another isolated duel that Surreal comes out on top of. The pressure may be getting to LDLC in this endeavor.
Well, 45 seconds in play. Now LDLC gathering the tunnels. The Molotov coming through. Surreal under pressure. He'll deal with it well initially as the first kill comes in. He's also got the crossfire still at the car, but he peeks into the open. Mighty Max needs a kill here, and he hasn't got any just yet. He manages one, and the rest of his team come in. It's Robin against the frag, and it's 13-6. It's Endpoint, 3 away from victory, and the money is completely broken, shattered, thrown into a million pieces here from LDLC. And, well, if they've been really good on the pistols, so they have to try and find that inner strength again. A couple of Deagles potentially being picked up. CZ, Tech 9. You know, Tech 9 is sick right now, actually. That's something we've really started to notice come back into CS.
Yeah, we were missing out on that sort of running gun for a while. It was a tapping machine for a time, but nobody wants to use it like that. Just buy a Deagle if you're going to tap.
Exactly. So now we got the old Tech 9 meta back. I think Astralis were really showing that it's back and in full force in the grand final against G2. VSL1 Road to Rio. They were having a great time with those Tech 9s. Crucial's position though. This could be huge. Wanting to peek into the open, will start to swing, and well, nothing coming through just yet. Instead, he's going to fall back and allow his teammate Surreal to clean them up in the double nade. That's a 3K actually coming off the back of that Itchy. That's a triple dunk coming in. It's going to be 14-6. Endpoint 2 away from victory, and those odds, well, they've shifted heavily back in favor of Endpoint.
Yeah, that one swinging round, it's all cascaded out of control. Suddenly, Endpoint are in a massive driver's seat. One mistake. Even if LDLC play the majority of the round out perfectly, one mistake, and they are on match and series point. Again, another standard state of affairs. 2 over towards B. They take control of long on the Endpoint side. This time around, there's nobody committing for an early peek on the LDLC camp. Just a slow and passive default for both sides. At the very least, LDLC will soon discover that short is very much their domain. Don't have to work too hard to take control of that one. It's all about where they finish up. Whether they can get a pick on this AWP of Sixer as well.
Well, Logan, flash around the corner, is going to dive up in towards Catwalk. And now Endpoint just sitting back. They're not going aggressive. They're not being proactive at all. And that's a bit of an issue for LDLC. They're kind of hoping for a kill here. They're kind of hoping for Endpoint to give them something to play with. But it's not coming in just yet. Instead, they sit idly by. It's dropping in on top of short. Now LDLC look to gather and play contact, and this is when the push has come through towards the tunnel. Close by, just jiggle peeking, ready to throw a Molotov if the push is to come through, and that's going to buy a little bit of time. Endpoint can get the rotation, and they desperately need time. Look at the players over towards A, but Surreal, he doesn't throw it, and now they're running straight in towards the B bomb site, and there's no kills for Endpoint. That is just horrible. They only managed the one, and that's not going to be enough, especially with such a passive setup on the A bomb site.
Yeah, he had the timing on the smoke, but he just didn't let go of it. He quick switched before it released from his hand, and changes how that round plays out so significantly. Surreal is playing a cat and mouse game if the smoke is up, but he's just out in the open because there's nothing there to prevent the peak. Well, a round in which nobody really wanted to make too many mistakes came down to what seemed to be quite a big one. And maybe that passive play, like you said, the slower style and the less risk-oriented style that Endpoint put out may have jeopardized a potential for them to win the round. Playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win.
It's going to be Endpoint on the CT side, 14-7 up. 2 more are needed, and if you are just tuning in, we're currently on the 3rd map. It's Dust 2. Endpoint in the last round had a bit of a passive setup that led to a bit of a disaster overall on that B-bomb site, so they'll be looking for map point now.
Oh, and they've already gone for the ult play of Crucial up short. They're waiting for the boost as well. He's so prepared. They hadn't been spotted out doing that previously. The Crucial just has the read. He doesn't go for commit, doesn't over peek. It's a favorable angle, and one that should typically favor LDLC to catch them off guard.
Well, nice shot from Sixer, taking down Crucial, and that's a nice little shot that'll pull it back into a 4v4. Now, Endpoint, is this where the mistakes start to arise? Is this where they start to crumble and LDLC work their way back into Dust 2? Who knows? Certainly a possibility at this point, and you've got to be a little bit scared about that.
Yeah, Endpoint have had a couple of overtime games already today. They will be sure to try and avoid that once more. LDLC commitment through towards A. Robin, the Molotov, not quite spreading to his position. He's so far secured here at Goose. They might not clear it fully. The flash is perfect as well. Robin able to get one, but he burns to the flames eventually. Surreal is up close though. Something that may go uncleared for now, but he's playing instead for the retake, allowing for his teammates to rotate in.
Well, Surreal starting to move forward. It's Lambert with a double kill. Lines them up. Surreal comes back in, and now it's a 1v2 for him. Certainly a chance, but X-ray off now. We start to feel the tension, and it's Sixer that takes him down. Another round picked up for LDLC, Yumi, and I'm starting to sweat a little bit myself here. And that's not just because it's warm.
It is warm.
It is indeed.
In fairness.
Way too warm. Actually, it's not way too warm. It's probably just nice, but
yeah,
it's
just about right, yeah.
Can't put a fan on. That's the trouble of being a caster, you know. It's got to be everything's got to be quiet.
True. Get one of those paper fans.
Or just, you know, some sort of person that stands there and fans me down. That would be lovely. That'd be the luxury of life right there.
Now hiring people from Twitch chat.
Feed no. Feed me grips as well, you know, living the life. Chocolate covered strawberries.
No. As much as we hope for the full Roman treatment. Fortunately for Endpoint, no grapes to be fed in the round like this. And just allowing LDLC to work the map as they so choose. Every bit of utility that's expended is ultimately a net positive. And then after the fact, if they can get some kills, that would certainly help in their endeavor. Cross towards the site, they can get the bomb planted. Endpoint setting up to try and get a few exits. And Max has actually taken down the bomb planter to delay this even further.
Well, Sixer taking down Robin. It's going to be a nice little kill to find, and And this round really is starting to slip out of the hands, or has already, out of the hands of Endpoint. So, looking at a 9th on the board here in LDLC. It's all about limiting the casualties. Make sure Endpoint don't pick up any of these guns. Crucial desperately wants the AWP, so he's going to be waiting for them to come into his crosshair. And well, 3 players coming this way. He's dead to rights. He might just get another frag, and that's exactly what he'll pick up. What is this? This is disgusting from Crucial. Really nice shots on the D-goal. That's 3 picked up, but unfortunately cannot get the 4th one and save the AWP. But that's a lot of damage coming in. Luckily, money is in the bank for LDLC. Endpoint, they're going to get a purchase in, and well, what a purchase it is, a double op setup.
Yeah, it's another flex tape round, it seems, for the T side. It doesn't matter who's on this portion of the map. Heavy casualties, even when they win these rounds. Maybe this double op setup is exactly what they need to change things up. They can dedicate one over to this B bomb site. Hasn't seen too much pressure, too much presence from Crucial. Surreal is instead poised over towards A, and actually they're collapsing onto the B site so much faster than other rounds prior. Crucial able to at least get one for his troubles. Max fully flashed up, unable to get anything done, but Crucial is knocking shot after shot. The rotation, Lambert's there for it. He sprays 2 down, and he's able to escape, hold onto that advantage for the meanwhile, but LDLC still haven't dealt with Crucial. Yeah,
they have to save though, surely. Double up setup, retake the B-bomb site, that is just not happening. And so round will be picked up for LDLC. It's 14-10. And I think those 2 kills coming in from Lambert are just the final nails in the coffin here for round 24 for Endpoint. And well, this is truly a comeback from LDLC getting it done.
Yeah, the question is, with Endpoint holding on to these 2 ops now, you don't buy around these. Or if you do, you're limiting the rounds even further in terms of fully fledged full buys. It becomes a risky game of how much you trust Crucial and Surreal to really have the impact you want from those AWPs. Well, quite a few rounds of play, and well, they've invested in armor. Maybe not quite committing all the way down. The half buy around the AWP does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, you definitely want to... You have 2 ops in play right now. They're going to be on polar ends of the map, right? You have Crucial kind of do whatever the hell he wants. Surreal being more of a turret over towards B or middle. And it's certainly going to be a round that you could pick up here if you're Endpoint. Just needs to get off to the good start. And that's Surreal taking Lambert down, although they have already lost Mighty Max. And that B-bomb site has been taken again. Ugh.
Yeah, this time Surreal not able to get the success that Crucial was. Thomas may be able to get his hands on the AWP. Weasel his way out of there. They're going to try and hunt this time around. Not making sure that they don't escape with the AWP once again, but Haji burns to the flames of his teammate. Not ideal, but he got the kills before he died anyway. Given the money, we don't expect LDLC to commit too many resources in hunting down this AWP. They should still be able to buy in the following round, but losing more than just that one player doesn't seem all too worth it. Even though it seems like Sixer was still tempted into the peak.
Well, 14-11 now, Endpoint. Double op setup still intact. Rifles this time around instead of the pistols. So some potential weaknesses certainly can be fixed up now. So we move into round number 26. It's going to be LDLC. AWP in the hands of Sixer. He will start to look down in towards middle. Looking for that early peak, but doesn't want to overextend due to him realizing there are some ops saved over in this next round for Endpoint. So a bit more tentative in his approach in towards mid. 2 players positioned over towards the tunnels here from LDLC, one up towards Suicide. You've got Logan backing him up, just standing outside of short, and also Lambert holding the long push. So that's just a default stance coming in here from LDLC, spreading out across the map, holding for some potential aggression from Endpoint. But the time can tick on as Endpoint are not going aggressive at all. They have that one player in the pit already, but overall this setup is pretty good. It's another passive A hold in comparison They did this a little earlier on, but they have a double up set up, so I can get behind it a little bit more here.
And this time they have Surreal as well positioned over at B, where he has been traditionally for most of this game. And oh my goodness, the run boost and the fast run up the stairs. Crucial wasn't prepared for that timing at all. He sold his shoulder and that was it. He was done for. And Max is alone on the site. Has the support from that long player, as aforementioned, but the flashes are coming in, the nades as well. They're trying to get these kills, and Robin's finally found one.
Well,
Max is just sitting in the smoke.
yeah, he's tapping. He's going to get that bomb down. Logan is going to throw the Molotov down in towards CT, and Logan, he is going to be overrun. Robin shuts him down, and now 4v3, finally an advantage for Endpoint, and potentially a round they can pick up, but Lambert, he'll say no. He's been quietly chipping away in these last few rounds now, getting some important kills, but he's finally overrun, overwhelmed as the shots come through, and now it's all on Sixer, in towards Gandalf. This guy can all, but he's going to find himself Thomas. Smoke deploys in front of him, and now Surreal, he's going to go for the full stick. I love it. The balls on him to stick this. This is huge. Oh, well, Sixer's going to pull it off. The 1v2. And, well, I like the play, and as much as I respect the decision, it's not the smart one now. I think he's definitely tapped the bomb. You can go for that peak. He's obviously going to walk into your crosshair. Just a little bit unfortunate there on Endpoint. Well, the best chance for them to get 15 has fallen away. LDLC, they get themselves another round, and potentially they could win this in regulation. This money is not looking good for Endpoint. It's another half buy. It's another double scout setup. A little bit of pistol usage behind it, but LDLC, they've been abusing this B-bomb site, and off they go again.
Off to the races. Thomas dealt with so handily. The drive-by by Lambert, the scout trying to get something back. Just a little bit of tag damage if possible, but Haji there to cut off rotations. That does concede an AK over to the Endpoint side, and Surreal's found a frag as well. So equal numbers actually now moving into the site should they commit to it. They've got a long wrapping play from Robin to clear out the upper tunnels as well. I think they're going for this.
Well, it is going to be Lambert just playing in below the window. Mighty Max wants to run over the top of him. And Lambert just biding his time. Endpoint realize, well, we're going to get money into this next round anyway. We're going to be able to purchase up, but maybe not throw these AKs into the mix. I think at this point they realize the round is done, but it doesn't even matter. They're still just hanging around a little too often. And, well, it's going to be a round on the board for LDLC. Now just one separates them at Endpoint. I did not believe, I'll be honest, Yumi, but this comeback is here. This has to be the longest dust 2 I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I didn't believe either for a time. Like you said, it's been a slow chipping away at players. You see players like Lambert stepping up into the plate. They've got a lot of the cogs turning on the LDLC camp. It certainly converted me. That flashbang bounced so awkwardly. It bounced right back into the upper B tunnels, but LDLC aren't deterred by the self-flash. They're still splitting towards this B site, and Endpoint don't seem any the wiser. This window is wide open, and they have no idea. The flank, it's not a clean kill. Lambert dealt with eventually by Robin, but he's going to feel a heavy pressure towards B. The fact he gets 3 kills there is huge for Endpoint.
It certainly is huge, and now they hold the advantage, but the B-bomb site has been taken, and that plant is starting to come through here from LDLC. They're going to be trying to hold off this retake, just diving in. Mighty Max, that is quick, but no, it is done finally. Endpoint will get a 15th round on the board, just flying through the windows and the door, and they finally retake this B-bomb site. And it's going to be map point for Endpoint, series point as well. Now, it's not going to be easy for them. There's another buy coming in this next round, and well, Endpoint's money's not brilliant. Oh, this could potentially be an overtime.
That could have so easily been an LDLC round. Just that first missed opportunity. The fact that Robin's given enough time to recover on that site is a bit ridiculous. But yeah, do or die now. LDLC have been on this long track road. They're bringing this back. Have to force the overtime at the very least. Well, Endpoint are no strangers to overtimes today.
Oh, they are not. They have been loving a little bit of bonus round usage. I'm sure they would like A little bit more though if they could avoid that and just get it over and done with here in regulation. Nade is going to go through the double door. Just beyond it, a couple of T players. The flashbang is getting a spring into the eyes of Surreal. He's blinded by it. Oh, the aggression nearly pays off there for Crucial. Just not landing the shot as Gringo tried to retreat, but now he's going to take Tunnel's control back. This passive setup on the A-bomb side again. LDLC give him full control in towards Catwalk. You just walk up and execute on towards this A-bomb site if they desire it. Quick little molly on towards default and you've got yourself the site really. So this is certainly looking like the call from LDLC. Good Molotov though from Endpoint. Now 40 seconds, that delays it, that burns the clock down and really limits the options here from LDLC. A follow-up Molotov, this is brilliant from Endpoint, just holding them off. LDLC are going to be so limited for time, and now they're going to have to go. 30 seconds, utility being used up. Surreal on the default spot, ready to hold on, but he's only got this SMG. This isn't the prime weapon for it, but he has got the help from the ramp player. And now Surreal needs it all. Needs to take at least one down in this spot. Here's the bomb plant. He can't really get round to deny it. So this is going to be a bomb plant at least in for LDLC. And now they can fall away. Sixers found the kill, but finally Surreal gets involved. He's waiting on his teammates. The kills are coming through from Surreal. Crucial picks up one as well. Logan in. That's a double. And suddenly it's all on Crucial. A 1v3 in total. He's found the first. The second shot is quick. And now going for the last one. He jumps up on the site. The no-scope. What a clutch from Crucial. 4 kills into the round. And he will get Endpoint the win here. 16-13. What a way to close the game. What a way to close the day. That is huge from the Dutch sniper.